I don't want to say Alabama is going to not be good this year, but I see a tough road in the next 2 or 3 years for Alabama. Everybody say that every year, but you got Texas A&M who recruit at a high level, and Jimbo Fisher beat them last year. You got Kelly, who's a good coach, and he has more control over who can get into LSU. You got I hate to say this, but you got to think Auburn's gonna be better. Then you got the two bad handlers on offense, Mississippi and Ole Miss. And I know people are gonna say, "Well, we deal with that every year," but I would like to point this out. Back in the early, when Nick Saban started his run, maybe in 2008, 2009, up to now, up to what was Deshaun Watson's year? 2015. Pretty much everybody in SEC ran similar, like run the ball, cloud of the dust. We can load up on defense and beat these guys. And teams that gave them trouble was Auburn with a running quarterback and Ole Miss. I wonder if this coming up next couple of years, do you see Alabama pulled back to the pack a little bit in the West of their conference because of the type of offenses and offensive minds they got and the better recruiting that's coming along over there. Hello?
Yeah. So you think Alabama's going to come back to the pack?
Well, I'm asking, do you think? Because
no.
No, you don't think Mississippi State on this, or I don't know about LSU. I haven't really followed it. I just go by what Lane Kiffin and I can't remember his name. The guy that was at Washington State.
Yeah, Mike Leach. So
and
LSU has talent, of course they do, but they probably have their worst roster unless they really get aggressive in the transfer portal in the next few weeks. They probably have their worst roster since maybe some LSU expert can jump in here, but I got a pretty good hold on their roster. I'd say this is their worst roster in 20 years. Now, it's not bad. That doesn't mean they're going to be bad, but they've been bad the last 2 years, and Brian Kelly's not going to fix all that immediately. And there are two quarterbacks battling for the position. They're good. They're talented. They've played. Of course, Jaden Daniels has played 3 seasons at Arizona State. Miles Brennan's played 3 or 4 games at LSU, but neither one of those guys has proven to be like a top-notch quarterback. And again, I think they're going to be scary for teams to play. Nobody's going to want to play LSU just like any other time, but they're a 7 or 8 win team.
Yeah. But I just saying, I don't think Texas A&M was great last year. I think we both bet A&M was going to. I think I put money on the money line of A&M instead of. I just see more teams having, hey, we can get Alabama this week. And I'm not saying Alabama doesn't have a great squad, but they're going to play Tennessee this year. I think Tennessee's going to be a little bit better, and I can see the possibility of Alabama losing 3 games this year.
3.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it. It's possible. Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, go back with Ole Miss beat them, I think 2 years in a row. It was fluky wins. And I just think they got more teams that can win fluky versus them. And they're not on the A game every game.
Well, I got you.
Coming up this year or this year, too.
Every team. I was just going to say, every team in their division could beat Alabama. It's possible.
Right.
It's not that they're playing Vanderbilt every week. Every other team in their division, they're playing the best division. All 7 teams are good. They're talented. They're all top 30 to 40 teams in the country. Yeah. And then they've got Tennessee, and I don't know who their other crossover game is. I think it's Vandy, but I'd have to look at it. Okay. So Tennessee. Now, Tennessee, as I told somebody a few minutes ago, let's not go crazy on Tennessee. I think they're a really interesting team, and Hendon Hooker had probably the best season that nobody paid attention to last year. 31 touchdowns, 3 picks, and their running game's devastating. Like, the thing that people don't realize about Josh Heupel, because they just know that he runs plays at warp speed and wants to push the ball, is that he believes in a running game. They run the ball at Tennessee, but they're still working on the defense. They've got a lot of work to do on a bad defense.
Right. And don't they play Texas at Texas the first game of the year?
At Texas, game 2. I think it's game 2.
And see, that's what I mean. And like I said, I'm not knocking Alabama. I'm not an Alabama hater like some people are. I'm just saying, like, I really could see Alabama losing 2 or 3 games this coming up year.
I'd be pretty surprised if they lost to Texas.
Yeah, but I don't know who Texas played the first game of the year, but I mean, I haven't seen Quinn Ewers play, and nobody else has either. But I think he's like the first quarterback outside of Vic Young to ever have a perfect rating in the composite. I know that'll be that on the football field, but I mean, I'm just saying, luckier things have happened on like that first or second week. Like you said, it was the first week. I probably have more faith in Texas with it because they got the whole summer to get ready for them. I don't know who Texas played the first game of their year, but
Alabama's got Utah State. Alabama's got Utah State, and not that Utah State's going to give them a game, but Utah State was a really good team that won a bowl game against Oregon State and finished 10-3 last year. I'll tell you who Texas has in a second here. So Alabama might be pushed, and when I say pushed, I don't want anyone to go crazy that thinks I'm meaning this the wrong. I don't mean that they're going to be in a fourth quarter game with Utah State, but they may not just be up 35-0 and be able to hit the showers. They might have to play for a half or more in that game. Texas's first game is, I believe, Louisiana Monroe. Yes. They're awful.
Yeah, they gave them a game last year, didn't they?
No, that was Louisiana. That was the Raging Cajuns, Louisiana. This is the Warhawks.
Oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, I would just say, possibility. First game, you got the whole summer to prepare for. I know a lot of people got off of Boise State and who they used to beat the first game of the year.
Yeah.
I was like, but they had the whole summer to get ready for that game.
Sure.
And then they don't play nobody else for the rest of the year. And but I mean, I just really think Alabama's going to be pushed the next year or two. I just think that they're going to come back a little bit. I'm not going to say they're going to have a year like Clemson had. Well, 2-3, but I'm just saying I don't see them just like straight dominating people. It's like I think people caught up with Ohio State a little bit in the Big Ten last year. It's like I think people caught up with Clemson